Hi everyone, here Marcelo. I'm a student currently doing a master degree in sustainability and innovation. And today I have the pleasure to interview Minola. Minola, can you please share a bit of yourself with us?
Hi, Marcelo, and hi, everybody. It's so good to be here to share a few minutes of our time together. My name is Minola. I'm originally from Romania, from a mixed family, Hungarian and Romanian. I'm currently based in Luxembourg, where I work as a change management and business transformation lead. I'm a journalist by trade, and I'm just very happy and very open to share whatever insights I can with you today.
Thank you very much, Minola, for accepting our invitation. And I know that you have a story, a professional story to share with us that will help us reflect on responsible leadership and also on the competencies that are needed to go through this journey and improving ourselves as responsible leaders. So, can you share with us a bit more about this story?
Well, I will share the trailer with you right now. It will be a story on the power of listening in our professional life. And as we very briefly discussed a little bit before, um, it is very difficult to separate your who you are from who you are professionally. So it is a little bit of harnessing your own self-awareness and bringing it into your work and understanding how you interact with the others and how that drives their professional life and how that also brings value into your own professional life.
Great. Thank you very much for this short introduction so people can start processing this story. So the title might be Power of Listening. And then can you develop a little bit more on this story?
Yes.
We can learn more.
So I will set the scene with a quote that I find very dear and especially in my work for change management is extremely powerful. It says, listen to understand, do not listen to reply. And it stands for our innate need to listen to something so that we can answer. Whether we answer with information or we answer with a solution, that is a secondary conversation. But we do have this reflex that was also grown in us through everything that we learn in our world of work that we do need to have an answer and we do need to react. And my story is about a question that I discovered, and it completely transformed the way in which I now interact with people. It is particularly powerful in the world of work, where it's just a way that transformed interactions. Whenever there is a conversation going on, especially if somebody came into my office and they started talking, and especially if that happened on a not so good day, so they used to come with a problem or with a challenge or with something that made them feel not very comfortable. My brain used to go into, okay, we need a solution, we need a solution. And I discovered that how I listened to that person changed. So I made a point of every time somebody walked up to me or came into my office and I felt that they were quite fessed up about something, I used to ask them, do you want to vent or do you need a solution? because I wanted to understand whether they were in a very emotional or very wind up space, and they just needed to get everything out there so that whatever they were feeling got consumed, and they would be, cool down and calm down, and they could listen to a solution. um, I oftentimes lived through situations when I walked, and actually now that I talk about it, and thank you, Marcelo, I have another eureka moment. I believe this is also the mark of a good corporate culture, of a good organizational culture. When you feel safe to walk into somebody's office and to say, I have this wild idea and I want to, test it. Let's see how we can test it safely so that we can either discard it or scale it up. But equally, to feel safe to go into somebody's office and say, I think I made a mistake. These are the three solutions I could think of. I need help. And I had this amazing direct manager a few years back, and she could feel the moment I walked into her office whether I needed her to actually say something or not. And a few weeks ago, I called her and I said, You have no idea how many conversations I still have with you in my head. And she went, Oh, but what am I saying? And I said, You don't say much, you just say, And there is huge power in saying, And there is huge power in letting people ask you for the help that they actually need. Do they need a listening ear, or do they need somebody who can solve that problem with them?
I have a question.
Yeah.
So personally, how do you, yeah, how do you perceive the benefits of having this kind of listening? And firstly, as a person, so someone else giving you this type of listening, not just focus on the solution, but really giving you the space to share your emotions and your thoughts. But also, how do you feel about sharing and giving the opportunity to others
Mm,
to just have this discussion with you without having directly the solutions?
mm. I believe that ultimately it speaks to who we are, and we are a constant balance in between doing and being, and we struggle to balance these two. So in a conversation, when you ask somebody, okay, what do you need me to be? Do you need me to be your space for being, or do you need me to be your space for doing? It's also something that helps them understand where they are. And it's empowering for both parties because you meet to where you need value to be created for that particular relationship in that particular moment. And it is not something that is very easy to do, and it does take some practice, and it does take to develop some actions, if you want, not beyond behaviors. um, for example, if you have someone in front of you that just wants you to listen, it means that they want you fully there. So I also put away my phone. I sometimes close my laptop, and that says, okay, I am here and I listen to you. And I don't need my laptop to go and search something on the net that might help the solution. No, I am here, and I am here for as long as you need me to. I will not look for reminders of my meeting. Um, I believe that we have this innate need for safe spaces, and we have this innate need for feeling safe to ask for the help that we need and we want. And it also helps to acknowledge that our reflex is to help somebody else, but we need to help them how they need to be helped, not how we feel special and useful and, helpful in any way. It goes down to, not do not treat somebody as you want to be treated, but treat somebody as they want to be treated. I believe that is empathy and compassion.
We're saying that when adopting this kind of safe space where you offer the other not just to give him or her a solution, but uh, uh, um, just some listening, it empowers the other, right?
Yeah.
So, do you have examples on how we this empower the other and what it makes to the other to offer this kind of space?
Well, it's just as simple as asking this question, like what do you need me to do? Do you need me to just listen to you, or do you need to find a solution? And I have countless of examples of colleagues of mine and clients of mine that say, no, I just need to let it out. I just need to vent. And almost without exception, as soon as they started to speak, and as soon as they felt safe to be as babbling as they needed to be, you could see that their thoughts, they started to get back on track, because they just needed to get it out of their heads, and they needed to put it in words, and they needed to be able to make it coherent in some way or another. It was sense making for them. And oftentimes we got to they said, oh, okay, so how about we do it like that? And then it was naturally going into the solution finding space. But what we need to acknowledge is that sometimes things happen in such a way that we just need to consume whatever it is that we're feeling until we can actually think about it. And that space needs to be protected, and that space needs to be respected, and that space needs to be honored. It shows that we're human, and it also shows that we care enough to feel something about it.
I'm thinking nowadays that we are always connected. And as you were mentioning before, there is always the green light that says that we are available, or it, there is something written like, oh, this person is online. How do you do personally to um, give yourself the right to come to someone and ask him to listen to you? Because I have personally this problem of interrupting someone and to have a talk like, oh, I'm really feeling this way and I need someone to listen to me.
Mm.
And I don't know how to approach this person and ask him or her to listen to me. So how would you do?
Well, it is very true that, especially going through this year, and online becoming our life, and it actually made offline the new luxury. People automatically assume that when you have your green dot there by your status, that you're available all the time. Now, you cannot really control how people reach out to you, and I'm always happy and I always celebrate when somebody feels safe enough to just reach out. But it is my responsibility towards myself to also protect my boundaries and my space and my availability. And if they reach out, and if I cannot make it, then I just ask, is this urgent? And I believe it also says a lot about what kind of relationships you build, in how you define urgent versus important, versus I just need somebody to talk to. With some of my closest friends, for example, and with some of my closest collaborators and partners, we have this agreement that we do reach out when we feel the need to, but we get back to each other when we can, because life happens and business happens and time zones happen. But if we say, it is urgent, it means that the other one drops everything off and is there, because urgent is our, safe word, and we don't overutilize it. We don't cry wolf that often. So this space is totally neutral, and it also means for you to say, I'm really sorry, but right now I just cannot. um, I used to joke, and sometimes I use this in my change management workshops, this thing that I picked up from the modern fountain of wisdom called Facebook, which says that you cannot pour from an empty mug. And there are times when you can just say, I know what you mean and I know what you want, but right now I cannot. Just, give me 2 minutes, or give me 2 days, or let's see what our options B are, but right now I cannot. And I think it's also a sign of responsible leadership to acknowledge your own limitations and to acknowledge your own boundaries and to manage expectations accordingly. And people know that what they see is what they get, and honesty saves everybody's time. Honesty, I believe, it's the best form of respect, and I would take honesty, being honest over being impressive every single time.
Thank you for this message. Would you like to share uh, a final key message to our audience?
I would encourage our audience to use this question whenever a conversation starts, and ask the other person whether they just need to vent or they are looking for a solution. And that will transform their relationship, and that will transform the space in which they are meeting each other.
Mm-hmm. Thank you very much. What about, so this is also a practice at the same time? Would you like to share another practice regarding this?
So, asking this question is one. Um, Whenever you find a solution, also ask how much hands-on they need you on implementing that solution. Do they feel comfortable doing that on themselves? You know, what is the follow-up and what is your involvement in the follow-up? Um, and also ask people what they think and also what they feel. Because sometimes we might be very at peace rationally with something, but maybe we feel a little bit of anxiety, or we're not that confident, or there is something emotionally that might decrease uh, the the validity of the solution. So know that people think, but know that people also feel.
Great. Thank you very much, Minola, for sharing these practices and these insights on how to empower others, but also how to ask for help, what is not always easy, and even less in those times.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Well, thank you. I really hope this will help some relationships to become their full potential.
Thank you very much. So thank you also that are there for watching, and see you another time. Thank you again, Minola.
Thank you very much, Marcelo. Thank you,
Bye.
everybody, for watching.
Okay.